Hello, everybody. This is Brandon Mathis, and I'm here at the International House of Prayer in Kansas City. I don't know whether you can hear behind me or not, but there's a worship and prayer meeting that's going on right outside these doors in the Global Prayer Room that has been going on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the last 12 years. That's right. In 1999, coming into the 21st century, God began to speak to many leaders that there's a shift happening in the church, and the expression of the church of the 21st century will be different from the expression of the church of the 20th century. And I remember God speaking that word to me. I was pastoring a little storefront church, my dad's church in Columbus, Ohio, and he said, "You're going to have to stop what you're doing and do something different." I said, "God, what are you talking about?" He said, "I'm doing a new thing in the 21st century." He said, "If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to be where I used to be." I said, "God, what are you doing?" And he began to show me that church was going to look like Walmart in the 21st century. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I laughed too. I laughed. I remember saying, "God, what are you talking about?" And he took me to Isaiah 60, Isaiah 61. He said, "In the 21st century is the century and the millennium of my glory. My son is coming, and God is going to prepare his church and transition his church for the coming of the Lord in the earth." And he took me to the 11th verse. "When the glory comes, the gates will not be shut day or night." He said Walmart and some of the 24-hour places that you see operating in the marketplace in the world, they are just tapping in to where I'm going in the 21st century, where I'm going in the next millennium. And I was flabbergasted by that thought. How could that happen? Church going day and night. He said, "It won't happen how you're doing it. It won't happen how you're operating. So shut this down, and I'll give you the new wineskins for the new wine." Long story short, at the end of 99, I shut down my dad's church, Apostolic Deliverance Church of Christ. And God began to position us to receive the new wine and the new wineskins. Unbeknownst to me, in 1999, God spoke to Mike Bickle to begin the Tabernacle of David, where David had worshipers going before the Lord, before the Ark of the Covenant, day and night, musicians and singers day and night worshiping the Lord. And God told Mike Bickle to resign his megachurch and sit before me and worship me day and night. And he resigned his megachurch. He was pastoring a church here in Kansas City called Metro Vineyard Fellowship. And he went and got a trailer. Somebody gave him a trailer, and he sat in that trailer with 20 people, and they prayed. Started out praying 12 hours a day. Soon, 3 or 4 months later, they instituted a night watch, and they began 24 hours a day. And from that time to this, they went from 20 people in a trailer to thousands upon thousands that meet every day and night, 24 hours a day here in the Global Prayer Room, and people come from all over the world. And in 2008, God, by happenstance, brought me to this place to see what he was trying to tell me in 1999. In 2009, I moved my family here, and we've been here for the last 2 years, receiving the new wineskins for the new wine of the 21st century, and receiving the paradigm that's going to usher Jesus back to the earth. And we want to invite all of our partners and friends that have been partnering with us, that have been standing with us, those of you that are in ministry, that you sense there's a shift happening also, and church as usual doesn't satisfy, and you're not knowing exactly what God wants to do. This is what he's doing. He's restoring his church to its original and eternal identity as a house of prayer for all nations. He's restoring the tabernacle of David, as Acts 15 says. Before the Lord returns, he says, I will restore the tabernacle of David. And so October the 20th through the 22nd, my wife and I are hosting a gathering called the Feast of Tabernacles Prayer Gathering for partners and leaders here in Kansas City at the International House of Prayer, to impart to you, to release to you, and to encourage you in the end time prayer movement that is happening in the earth. And to thank you, those of you that have been partnering with us, and those of you that have been tracking with us on Facebook. We want to invite you to come. We're going to have leaders from IHOP. They're going to help us teach and preach for those 3 days. We're going to join Mike Bickle in a service on one of the nights. We're going to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles, which is the last harvest of the year in the Jewish calendar, on the Jewish economy. And we're going to encourage you and build you up, not only to reap your harvest of the seeds that you've sown in prayer and fasting and time and money all year, but to impart into you the end time paradigm and wineskin for you to transition your prayer life, for you to transition your ministry, for you to transition your family into the spirit of the coming of the Lord into your life, into your city, into the earth. Won't you come? Look on our site, www.yeshualifecenter.com. We're going to have speakers. We're going to have friends. We're going to have young men speaking from Ohio, the city that I'm from. Brian Williams, who just started a house of prayer in Columbus, Ohio, called the Hope City House of Prayer, where young people are meeting day and night praying on the west side. Alfred Tago, who started a house of prayer on the north side, they're going to be speaking. R.J. Matthews from Columbus, Mississippi, who started a church in Columbus, Mississippi that is praying 3 times a day, over 800 young people around the clock, plus Mike Bickle and others in services here will be speaking and imparting to you, along with my wife and I, October 20th through the 22nd. You can register on our site, www.yeshualifecenter.com, or for more information, you can call us. Our number's on the site, or you can email us, brondonmathis@ihop.org. But come on to Kansas City and see this miracle of prayer and fasting and worship that goes up before the Lord day and night, where people come from all over the world. Right now, it's 6 in the morning here, and it's 300 people in there that have been in there all night, worshiping, young people, worshiping and dancing and shouting and singing and praying. You need to see this. And so we want to encourage you to come October 20th through the 22nd, the Feast of Tabernacles, prayer gathering for partners and leaders. God bless you. See you then.